like, love, and comment or share this broadcast if you can. I don't know how YouTube works because I have a small presence on YouTube, ladies. It's just so many social medias around. I cannot, I cannot be on every one of them. It's too much work. And by the way, I'm not a celebrity. I'm a real coach, so I work around the clock, pretty much helping people. So I don't really have time, to show up on this platform, that platform. I have Instagram as well, but I've never gone live on Instagram. Maybe I should one of these days. Small presence on YouTube. Try to broadcast at the same time on YouTube and Facebook usually. I don't have TikTok. I have Twitter, but now it was suspended because my mouth is too big for their liking, so they don't like that. So and I can't be bothered to revive it right now. Like, I know I'll get banned again in no time. So I'm just gonna wait until this war is over, which, to be honest with you, I don't know when. Do you know? Do you have any inkling, lady, when this war is going to end? It's not gonna end so long you sleepers remain asleep. You, the dumbest of the dumb, the dumps, remain oblivious to what's going on around you and remain in denial about what happened around you, right? So I'm just telling it as it is. And it cost me a lot of my platforms because of my big mouth. So anyway, ladies, what else is new? So Olivia, would you mind sharing this broadcast to the groups? The main groups, which is the Katarina Phang's High Value Goddess Community and Feminine Magnetism, The Journey Inward, those two groups at least. Ladies, if you're not in my groups, please add yourself, okay? If you don't know where, I think my groups are like linked to the page. You can search below posts. Sometimes, a lot of times I post them there, or I'll post it later. So if you're not in my groups, ladies, you are missing out on the most credible help in the world, not just in the juggernaut, in the world, ladies. I'm not bragging, but I know I am the most effective relationship coach out there in the world. I know that for a fact. So this is why I live where I live. You know what I'm saying? This is the result of, because my advice bloody works. That's why. It's not because I post with my partner around the clock, right? So, and then post them on social media. I very rarely take pictures of myself, especially not professional pictures, because those take a lot of work, and I'm always already working around the clock, so I don't need to do that. And I don't have time either to pretend that I'm a celebrity, or being interviewed by Forbes magazine, by Time, BBC, which is nonsense. All the lip-tart coaches go that route. And it's all fake. If you have money and you're a hustler, you can easily go in those magazines. But I'm not a hustler type. I'm always if you want to know what feminine energy is, that's what I do. I don't hustle. People come to me because they genuinely need help, and I don't chase their tails either. I don't have discovery calls and then I implement this strategy to make you pay, like $5,000, so get ready with your credit card. I don't know how to do those things. And if I have to do it that way, probably I already quit long time ago. It's a lot of work. What I do is just be me, and then the real, genuine, authentic people who know what works and what doesn't will come seek help. So So it's a given for me. But anyways, ladies, how are you today, wherever you are in the world? So today I'm going to respond to your questions. It's been listed. So if you haven't listed them, hopefully if you post them here, I can read it. I have 3 cell phones in here with me, so I can do this all at the same time. So, all right. I want to tell about what happened with my ongoing current program. It's Journey Inward. Thank you, Olivia, for sharing the broadcast. Journey Inward is currently on 16 week with 2 bonus classes. So let's say just if you sign up now, you have about 36 hours to catch up with, which is a lot. And you know, the style of me doing my program is very laid back and very spontaneous and in the moment. And also I'm very generous. This has been going on for more than 6 months, Journey Inward, right? And I don't know when it's gonna end, because I'm still enjoying it, and the ladies are enjoying it too. You know, with me, it's as long as I love it, it doesn't feel like work. I keep doing it. So it's been the most content for the price. That is nothing compared to the benefits that you will get through this profound, groundbreaking inner work program. When I say inner work, it's really inner work, not just like, you know, parroting all these theories on the law of attraction out there, like most coaches like do when they say about inner work, how to manifest, because you know their thing is all about, you know, how to be so like financially gifted, mostly about that, right? It's about making as much money as you can. So that they're selling dreams. I don't care about selling dreams, ladies. Okay, and in fact, I'm trying to wake you up. My thing is in this business is always about waking you up from your slumber, from your lifetime slumber, waking you up from your unconsciousness, right? Your unconsciousness that is why a lot of you are still in denial about what's happening in the world. You don't want to know, you don't care, right? You don't care. Let's admit it, you don't care. So that is very sad. Very sad indeed. So hopefully with this cell phone we can see the moon later, but seems like it's so washed out again. Anyway, so last week, which is Sunday, yeah, last week I guess, right? Last class on Journey Inward is last week. So I was planning to talk about self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is basically what equanimity is, right? Equanimity is a state of balance, wholeness, a state of steadiness, a state of being unshakable, right? That is equanimity. And equanimity comes from self-acceptance in every sense of the word. So basically that's what I teach, lady. When you have come to a place of self-acceptance, when you stop beating yourself up, when you stop judging yourself, you will also stop judging others. When you stop judging others, meaning there is still a process of evaluation, which I call discernment. So when judgment ceases to exist, what comes is discernment, right? So when you have come to the place of discernment, nothing can rock you, nothing can shake you. Well, you might get shaken every now and then. It's only human. Sometimes you get shocked, sometimes you get scared, sometimes you get nervous. But it's not something that is going to be chronically haunting you. Like, someone who lives in a neurosis zone, they live being haunted by their sense of lack, their insecurities, their shame, their guilt, and all that derivatives from such traits. By the way, ladies, I'm now having red wine. Usually I have white wine, but I read someone commented on somebody else's post on Facebook that red wine is very good for thinning the blood. So to solve the problem of blood clotting, especially to those who already got the jab. So this is something you might want to consider, but of course research it as always. You don't have to drink a bottle of red wine a day, maybe a glass or two of red wine before you go to bed. Apparently it's good for thinning the blood, okay? Ladies, I don't want anything happen to you who got the jabs, I know a lot of you have no choice and you were under a lot of pressure to do that, and I'm really sorry, because otherwise they will fire you, right? So I'm sorry you have to go through that, and it's so evil what's happening. But start researching on ways to undo or to minimize the damage that the jabs might have caused in the long run. If you don't feel anything right now, good for you. So, but please do not take the boosters, right? So if you try to stick, say, a spoon on the injection spot, and if the spoon doesn't stick, it's good news, meaning very likely you got placebos. So if you continue with the boosters every 6 months, sooner or later you'll get the real thing, okay? Because that's the whole plan. They're gonna just basically be done with us gradually, right? So I believe there are like 70% placebo right now, so it's quite high, right? Because they cannot probably afford having everyone dies at the same time, because it will cause too much disruption to society. So they have to do it gradually. So that is why they keep coming with this variant, that variant, which is total bull crap, of course. The variants are basically the side effects of the first 2 jabs that you got, right? But they have to name it COVID variant because they're slick. So know who you're dealing with, and I am not a judgmental person in the slightest at all. So I generally speaking like everyone. But so when I say so and so is not a good person, they're not good people, you better sort of like pay attention to what I say. If you don't, that's fine too. I mean, my motive is just want to help you. My motive is not to harm you. My motive is for the betterment of our society, our country, and our planet. And I want you to survive this war. But some, unfortunately, are not going to survive. And I will tell you who, for example. I have a client. She's sitting in Journey Inward. She's from India. Her 18-year-old nephew died a day after his second jab. And the doctor said it was heart attack. And he was only 18 years old. 18 years old don't die of heart attack, ladies and gentlemen. So my feeling is he got the blood clot that caused congestive heart failure. Please research that, congestive heart failure. That is one of the many side effects of the jab. Who else? Oh, there is another lady, and she's actually a Democrat. We used to sort of like disagree a lot last year, especially. Recently, for no reason, she showed up on my page saying that my aunt is dying 2 days after her second jab, and she's a Democrat. I hope she's no longer a Democrat after this. I hope she wakes up. She woke up after this. So I said to her, I'm so sorry to hear that, and please spread the word. And I'm so psyched that she is not planning to get the jab herself either. And that is great news to me. A Democrat, a libtard, is not taking a jab. That is great news. So those are two people I know, right? Not to mention, my dad, a spoon also sticks to my dad's arm and forehead. And of course, my dad is in denial about it. And my best friend, one of my good friends, from New York, also, she had Pfizer, and spoons stuck on her jab spot as well. And her girlfriend, which we came to visit in Houston last month, she got Moderna. And with her, things just stick so even tighter than Pfizer. Moderna is just so strong in that way. So if you wanna never lose a key ever again in your life, yes, get Moderna. It's very powerful, right? So those are real people that I know personally. My father, my good friend and her friend, and my client, and also a person who used to sort of argue with me last year about the whole situation with the pandemic and about the election. So hopefully she comes, join the bandwagon, and join our movement, right? So that's all at least we can do, ladies. This is very important. So in Journey Inward, go back to Journey Inward. I'm rambling, by the way, so bear with me. So I was supposed to talk about self-acceptance and equanimity, but I also wanted to share what has happened to me the past month, because we had a break for a month, right? And the past month and a half have been a real revelation for me, if you have been following my page, because at the end of August, JFK Jr. or John actually showed up to face the public under a different name and alias. And of course, he was denying that he was JFK Jr. But his voice is undeniably identical with JFK Jr. So I posted those things on my page. So if you wanna, draw your own conclusion, you can go to my page on post on JFK. I put somebody compiled a video of JFK Jr. before the alleged plane crash in '99, reading a prayer, and compared to his new name, which is Michael Protzman, or -48, which is also a coded name, and I'll talk about it in a bit. So sort of back to back, right? And the voices are identical. 22 years later, the voices don't seem to age any little bit at all. But of course he's denying, I'm not JFK Jr., but we know that he cannot tell the truth right now. But basically, he is showing up to sort of tell us ladies that yes, I am alive. I am alive and well, and we are at the precipice of this horror movie. Soon everything will be revealed. So that's the reason he shows up, because it's about time. And he basically introduced me to Gematria. So he was talking about all these utterances by him and Mr. T. Mr. T, you know who Mr. T is, right? Our former president. I just don't want to mention it because I don't want my video to be shadow banned. So he's showing us the coded assertions of Mr. T and Q drops and also some other phrases that have been put into this search engine in gematrix.org. So the website is gematrix.org. So basically it's a calculator. What do you do with it? So you calculate your name, your birthday, for example, or just anything, any phrase, right? If you come from a very high frequency, like prophets, for example, right? Messengers of God, they vibrate from very high frequency. So whatever they say are usually coded. So you would see the parallels of similar, not similar phrases, but phrases with the same gematria number. He is focusing right now on the simple gematria. There are 3 different gematrias. Well, there are many different gematrias, but on gematrix.org, there are Jewish, English, and simple gematria. So we are focusing right now on simple gematria. So you can put your name in there. My name, and again, I didn't know any of this before he showed up at the end of August. My name turns out to be one of the very important numbers, which is 121. 121 is Love Guru. 121 is God Almighty. 121 is God is a woman. 121 is Bodhisattva. 121 is Zen Master. Did I say Zen Master? It's also one truth. It's also second coming. It's also a lot of other very prophetic words and expressions. Sounds like, wow, that is kind of scary that my name is associated with all these sort of great things. So of course, it's just coincidence, right? So I begin to get really I have my lamp here, ladies, flashlight, so I will not disappear in the dark soon. So, and then I begin to put also my birthday. My birthday is August 21st. What it shows is also just crazy. I cannot even believe it. And also the variation, August 21. Not just that, but also my monikers like Katarina Phang, the Man Whisperer, and the Last Resort. The result, I post it all on my page, so look it up. But I'm just gonna sort of address it a little bit. Maybe some other time we go in depth about it when I learn some more about Gematria. And I put also a lot of other things. Katarina Phang, Feminine Magnetism. Katarina Phang is Love Guru. Katarina Phang, the one and only. Katarina Phang, the ultimate love guru. And all come out showing and referring me to one direction that is pretty mind-boggling. Again, check my page. So basically, Gematria says, I am Mary Magdalene in flesh. It's not my words. That's what Gematria thinks of me or says, according to my names, my work, the phrases that I use on my posts. You can quote everything I say. And a lot of times it will refer to the second coming of Christ or second coming period, or the Holy Bride of Jesus or the Holy Bride of Christ. I don't know if I am Mary Magdalene or not. And to be honest, ladies, it doesn't concern me. I don't care. If I'm Mary Magdalene, I will still be doing this work. If I'm not Mary Magdalene, I will be still doing this work. So nothing changes, right? But it's just very curious to me why everything pertaining to me and my work and my birthday and the things that I say all lead to the same road, that the second coming of Christ. And I actually, because I'm so curious, I've been researching about Mary Magdalene, right? And I asked Gematria, what power did or does Mary Magdalene have? I put that post on my page, and the answer is second coming of Jesus. So basically, what it's trying to say is Jesus needs someone to recognize him, because she is his soulmate. She is his wife, and the only person that knows him like nobody ever knew him. And this is the only person who actually witnessed the resurrection of Jesus, because he was the one who said, right, according to history, that Jesus rose again, and she saw the tomb was empty, according to history. So if you're interested in that, you can check on my page or research on YouTube on Mary Magdalene. So apparently, after Jesus' crucifixion, she migrated to Provence, France, and she continued his work, his ministry, by establishing the Blue Rose Order. And incidentally, I've always been so drawn to blue roses that I have 4 different arrangements of blue roses in my home. So again, so many coincidences. And Gematria keeps saying, or says over and over, there are no coincidences. So again, I'm not claiming, I'm just telling you ladies that Gematria says that I'm the Holy Bride of Christ. I said, I don't know, I don't remember that time, but based on what the things that I've been doing, and again, this cannot be another coincidence, because apparently Mary Magdalene was an expert of the mind, of the nature of the mind, of the suffering that was caused by attachment to the mind. So I have a theory that Jesus and Mary Magdalene met in India, because there was actually like a body of evidence that in his younger years, Jesus had a trip to India, and it was recorded by the local people back then. That's why Jesus was one of their saints, like one of the Hindu gods that they worship as well. So because Mary Magdalene was like an expert of Buddhism, basically, of the mind. That's probably where she learned about the nature of the mind from the Buddhists in India, and she brought it back to where they live at that time, in the Middle East, right, in Israel, and taught what she learned in India. But the climate of that time was very hostile against female apostle. So a lot of the male, at least some of the male apostles of Jesus, they didn't really like her. One of them was Peter. Peter's teaching was so focused on faith, salvation through faith. Meanwhile, Mary Magdalene taught about salvation through knowledge. So what I translate knowledge is, it's enlightenment. So they use the word knowledge to sort of to translate whatever word they use at that time, she used at that time. But my wild guess is knowledge is inner knowledge or enlightenment. So Peter thinks that, you know, the only way to through salvation is through faith in Jesus. Wow, the moon, bee! You see the moon? Beautiful. While Mary Magdalene teaches enlightenment, teaches inner knowledge, self-discovery, exactly what I'm doing right now with you ladies. So, which one is right or wrong? There is no right or wrong. Both are complementary. And the funny thing is, right now, I'm talking also about faith. All my life, I've been a Buddhist, ladies. And all my life, my thing has always been, but John, don't just believe, because the Buddha taught, you know, don't just believe, you know, test everything you've been taught and been told. Verify it yourself. Research it yourself. So I've been always big on that thing, because, you know, and I used to sort of look down on people who focus so much on faith. But the journey in this lifetime has brought me to find back my roots, which is Jesus' disciple, right? Discipleship with Jesus. And faithful to the Gematria number of my name, 121, one truth is 121. So there is no contradiction between Christianity and Buddhism. Actually, Buddhism is part of Christianity, but it was forcefully removed by whoever was in charge of telling the story of Jesus, by those who won the war, which we knew it was the Luciferians. So the Bible apparently has 777 books. The Bible that we know today only has 66 books. So 7, this is why 7 is God's perfect number. 777 is God's perfect number times 3. So in their tradition, if they want to maximize the potency of a number or a word, they triple it 3 times. So they mention it 3 times. So 777 is like special number. And the Gematria number for 777 with the alphabet 7, S-E-V-E-N, 3 times, is 195. Is it 195 or 191? I forgot about that. And who is Katarina Phang is 195 as well, the same number. And also then second coming of Jesus, also 195. And all over and over and over, the same message over and over and over and over and over. I can't make this up. I can't make this up, ladies. You can all dismiss it. Oh, it's all coincidence. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you. As I say, you know, this is not something you desire. I never thought of Mary Magdalene until about a month and a half ago. Or until a month ago. I never thought about her. You know, never really crossed my consciousness. Never interested me. So that I don't have any ambition to be Mary Magdalene or anything like that. Or to be anyone. I don't care, as I say. But I'm just a messenger. I'm telling you what I see, what I receive, because I'm a transmitter. I receive messages and I have to relay them all to you, and all out of no personal agenda whatsoever. As I said, you know, time will tell, right? It's not something you desire to become, not something you have an ambition to become. I don't need to be a Mary. I don't need to be Mary Magdalene. I'm good as I am right now. So. But if it's the truth, then it's the truth, right? So, as someone who has no attachment to any idea, any position, and any agenda, and any person, you know, I keep my mind open and remain unattached until further development. So you will know whether or not it's the truth, right? Stuff like this cannot be hidden for too long. there is a saying that there are three things that cannot be hidden, ladies. The sun, the moon, and the truth. Those are the three things that cannot be hidden. Anyway, so let's go straight now to your question. Sorry for a long introduction. So if you wanna listen to that class about my findings, about my personal journey, the past month and a half, sign up for Journey Inward so you can listen to that class. It was a long class. I didn't plan to talk about it, but the minute I talk about it, I couldn't stop it, and it lasted for almost 2 hours. So then the class on self-acceptance and equanimity will be done next week on Sunday as well. All right, so let's now go to the first question from, oh, I'm sorry ladies, I have to look on this cell phone. Sorry, my hand's wet. Okay. Dear, oh my goodness. All right. First question is from Shelly. Is Shelly here? Okay, so an EUM has returned after 3 years, and 3 years ago I purchased your ebook and some coaching to help with this guy and did not think he would return. We had 2 amazing dates. Connection is still there and we are very attracted to each other, but he is holding back and have not and have not heard from him. I'm leaning back, but it's hard. Why would he return and still not be sure or hold back? Okay, right? This is really very frustrating. I know, ladies. Why do men do that? Like, they like you, but they're also kind of like shy, right? They keep sort of holding back. They keep giving you signs, but they're not really stepping up, right? And all you want to do is just nudge him. Come on, wake up, like do something. But if they don't, hey, this is my instinct. When a guy is wishy-washy, he's showing interest, but he's not really committing to anything, right? Likelihood is he has right now another woman that he's seeing pretty regularly, but he's not really committed to that girl either. So he just enjoys, sort of like interaction with you, while at the same time he's enjoying this chick on the side, right? So you think that is a bad thing? No, because he is not ready to commit, and you cannot say that a man is bad just because he is not ready, to be anything for you. Just the same as you are not wrong to be not ready. So what you can do is, Shelly, just forget, stop focusing on him. If you want to respond, you respond, right? But don't be dependent that he's going to give you what you want right now. So what you need to do, just continue with your rotation. Keep dating other guys, right? And if he wants something from you, he wants a relationship with you, he'll let you know. Guys will do that. They'll let you know. If he doesn't, he will keep just sort of like, thithering you, right? So it is what it is right now, ladies. Don't worry about it. So you only respond to what? Respond to pursuit. If he's not pursuing, and he's just want to maintain you, saying, WYD, hi, what's up? Like every few days, there is no deep conversation or anything. It's always the same thing. WYD, what's up? Very low effort. What you need to do is just, if you don't feel like responding, and I'm sure after a while, you get bored by it, right? You get bored by it, so don't respond. So, and only respond when you feel like it. So most of the times, probably he's gonna try, give you a temp check, right? See if you're going to respond at all. So mix it up. Sometimes you don't respond at all. See what happens. I bet he's gonna try again, okay? But the less investment you give is the better for you, okay, Shelly? I know it's frustrating, sort of like he's dangling a carrot in front of your face. So continue with dating other guys. And I'm sure sooner or later you find another guy that you really like. You stop entertaining this guy, right? So just keep dating and keep being fabulous and get on my programs. So you always know, what you're gonna do with any particular guy. All right, let's see the next question. It's from Olivia. My ex-EUM has not reached out after my message to him last week. We haven't spoken or met up for like almost 2 months. I'm sorry, hon. Is this the end for us? How do I get over the feeling that I expect things to happen for me positively since I have been following your teachings throughout the dating period? How do I get over my ego's need to control? Olivia, like I always say, time will tell. Okay? This is why you always need to be one with the moment, one with reality, one with what is, whatever that is, moment to moment. Right? So, is this the end for us? I cannot say because I'm not privy to his life, what he's doing, or so I don't have a crystal ball on that. But based on the previous question, Shelley's EUM is kind of back in the picture after 3 years. So there is a possibility as well, when he's done with this new girl, he will return just at least to touch base with you. But don't put your life on hold, Olivia. And your question, how do I get over my ego's need to control? What do you think ego is? So I'll throw back the question to you. What do you think ego is, Olivia? Ego is a movement in your mind, right? So when there is a thought about I and the stories of the I, that is what we call ego. And especially when you were lost in that thought, believing in the narrative of the thought, that caused you all kinds of feelings inside, right? When you say, oh, he's so disrespectful of me, I'm not worthy, I'm not desirable, and then what happened to you? You feel very anguished, you feel very angered, you feel very upset, right? You're upset because of what? Because of the ego is telling you all these I stories. And the I stories happen when there is a movement in your mental space in the form of I thought, right? The I stories. I call it the I stories. And the more you think, the more you're going to feel all kinds of feelings inside of you. The more you feel angered, anguish, because that's the nature of thought. It's very compelling. This is why if you want to get out of the bind of the ego, the only way to do it is by being aware of the movement in your psyche, the movement in your awareness. When you lost in the identification with the I, all the I stories, I'm not good enough, I'm this, I'm that, I'm an anxious, so I cannot do this, I cannot do that, he's not good for me. You're so lost in the story, you're out of the moment. When you're not one with the moment, you're pretty much operating on the mind level. You're operating on the ego level. And if you truly believe in the ego, and the ego will basically pull the string from the dark, making you depressed, making you distressed, making you suicidal, making you feeling so unworthy, and so forth and so on. That is the very definition of being ruled by the ego, being lost in the ego stories. So how do you control that? Don't think about it. Stop thinking. How do I stop thinking, Kat? I said. I think, I don't even know if I'm thinking or not right now. And I bet many of you feel it that way. Like I used to, before all this work, I didn't even know that I was thinking all the time, right? Like non-deliberate or willy-nilly thinkers don't know that they're thinking all the time. So that is why they get lost in thoughts. That's why they get lost in this sort of like broadcast, in the matrix. The matrix for the most part is the ego stories that was created through lifetime of conditioning. And the lifetime conditioning is of course being provided by whoever rules over your consciousness. In our case is of course the Luciferian order that rules our planet, that provide us with the news, which is fake news, and the entertainment in the mainstream media, right? On the TV, in newspapers, in magazines, social media, all these sort of like flood of information with the sole purpose of shaping your awareness to mold you into a certain person who thinks a certain way. That is the matrix. So if you are operating on the mind level, you are so deep in the matrix, especially if you still watch TV, you watch CNN, you watch Fox News, you watch MSNBC, ABC, CBS. They are all fake news media. They are all controlled by the same dark force, the Luciferian order at the top. And their main agenda is one thing only: to make you obedient sheep to their agenda. This is why so many of you are so unconscious, are so oblivious, because you're so deep in the matrix and you don't know how to get out. Okay? And only someone who's already awakened from the matrix can tell you this, can wake you up. So God is the conscious of the matrix, which is interestingly coincides with the phrase, my results are unprecedented in the business, which I use a lot when I'm presenting the cases or the testimonials from my clients about their success stories. Usually I put, my results are unprecedented in the matrix. So about 2 days, or yesterday perhaps, or 2 days ago, I got curious and I began to look into that phrase and put it in the Gematrix org, and the results are again the same exact message over and over. And one of them is God is the conscious of the matrix. So when I use the word God, ladies, it's not necessarily like an external power separate from us. I'm talking about God in both senses, right? God that is transcendent and God which is immanent. So God within and God without. And if within and without is one and the same, there is no separation between within and without. And this is why Jesus will talk to God as Father as if he is separate from him. He's like he's a separate person who's overseeing him, right? That is the very meaning of surrendering to faith, which is very fundamental of Christianity and a lot of monotheistic religions, right? But Jesus also talks about kingdom of God is within you. Don't look outside, it's in you. This is why he says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and nobody can come to Father except through me. So in that way, he is talking about the God essence, about Christ consciousness that every one of us can also access. But of course, this kind of talk is blasphemous for the Orthodox Christians. So if you're ultra right wing, you'll find me despicable just like the ultra left wing. So the left wing nuts and the right wing nuts will find me just equally despicable. You cannot relate with me because I'm right there in the middle, right? So those who think that I'm anti-liberal, you cannot be more wrong. I still consider myself a liberal. I am a moderate leftist, right? Even though I'm now on the right side of the spectrum because you guys are so crazy, because you guys are nut jobs. My role is to bring back the balance somewhere in the middle because you guys have brought it so far to the left. It's beyond recognition. That is not the liberalism that I knew and I grew to fall in love with, and which was the main reason why I left my home country, because I thought my home country was so ultra traditional, right? So back to that story of Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene basically teaches Buddhism, right? So that inherent part of Godhood within each one of us was being taught by Mary Magdalene, but it was considered blasphemous, so it was removed. And also the Luciferian order is very anti-women. They are the true misogynists. They hate women. They hate men too, but particularly they hate women. For them, women are just good for breeding. And even these days, they don't need women to breed because they farm humans in their cloning facilities, in their labs. They don't need women anymore to carry children. They can even make two guys create babies just by taking their DNAs and combine them in the lab. That's Satanism for you. They are so anti-women. They are so anti our human values. They're so dark and twisted and monstrous and downright evil. They are certifiably insane. That's the word, certifiably insane. So know who you're dealing with, ladies. Oh yeah, it's on. Thank you, hon. I know, it's so beautiful. Sorry, I'm talking with Joey, right? So Peter, one of the apostles, focuses on faith. Mary Magdalene focuses on enlightenment. Now I'm teaching you both. I'm teaching you both faith, so you steadfast on your faith in times of this war, this spiritual war. But also at the same time, do your inner work so you know who you are. So you're no longer ruled by the ego, right? So I'm combining the two aspects of Jesus' teachings, the transcendence and the inherent or the immanent. That's the word, immanent, right? So I hope that answered your question, Olivia. If you sign up for current cycle of journey inward, your mind will be so blown away. It's so deep, so deep. All right. So next class. Oh, let me see. Sasha, how do I love myself and my unconditionally, but still accept the human experience and the needs and desire of this physical world? If we can and should fulfill our own needs, then how and where does a partner fit when they have no place? It's not that your partner has no place. Definitely he has a place. He adds values into your life. He adds richness into your experience of life. He basically makes your life easier. You may not get everything that you expect and you want from the same person, right? So if you expect romance, great sex, and also a provider, also someone who knows handymanship on top of everything else, you may not find that man, because no man is like everything to any woman, no matter who that is. You know, even Superman or even Jesus, right? Jesus still human too. He is both God and human, right? Like most of us, we have also our God essence and our human traits, our human condition. We live in human realm with the human challenges. So, you know, as a human being, we have our own limitations. We have our own flaws. So even Jesus has flaws. So, you know, do not expect that from any man. At the end of the day, relationship is about spiritual growth. If you and your partner are lucky enough to have come to that stage in which you realize, hey, you know, our relationship is not perfect, but if I don't have him or I don't have her in my life, you know, my life is not going to be as easy as it is. Not that you cannot live without them. You should not have that kind of attitude about your partner either, that, oh, I want him so bad, I need him so bad, I cannot live without him. Both are lies, both are extremes. So the middle path is recognizing that, you know, our lives is made easier with someone we can trust, we can fall back on safely at any given moment. But at the same time, we also recognize his or her shortcomings, right? He's not gonna be everything for any woman. So through that understanding, you begin just to sort of realize, hey, at the end of the day, if I keep looking for that holy grail of relationship, I will keep jumping from one relationship to the next, and I will always end up with pretty much the same kind of disappointments, right? Maybe not exactly the same type, but it's a disappointment nevertheless, because nobody is going to fulfill all our expectations, right? So through that wisdom, through that understanding, you're just embracing that reality. You're not fighting it. So right now, you know, probably some of you say, you know, my man is unemployed right now, so he's not providing right now. But he provides masculine presence in different ways. For example, he's helping with the children, he's helping around the house, right? He's making your life easier, but you are the breadwinner, for example. Or some other women say, these days we don't have sex as much anymore. And a lot of times I want to have sex and he doesn't. And it makes me feel really, really sad. It makes me feel really, really bad about myself, as if I wasn't desirable enough, right? I bet many of you have that problem. So, but as someone who has come to that place of acceptance of themselves, they will also understand a lot of these things that you say about your partner. You also play a role in it. You contribute to the dynamics of your relationship. Just because you don't know it, just because you don't readily recognize it, doesn't mean it's not true, right? If I say something to Joy, for example, Joy, you know, hon, you're no longer romantic to me. And you know what he said? You no longer do this, you no longer do the things that you used to do with me either. And kind of make me think a little bit, I guess. He's lazy, so am I. So, you know, your state of being expanded will make you see that, you know, whatever you say about your partner, more than often is also true about you. Just because you are taking it from your personal point of view with your own egoic sort of agenda, right? We all gonna be having a egoic agenda every now and then. That is part of human nature. So don't say, just because I'm enlightened, I no longer have ego whatsoever. It's not about that. The ego will still be there. The difference is, an enlightened being will not be ruled by their ego. They know it's an ego. So it's not about losing the ego, ladies. It's about knowing that when the ego is in use, when it's being present, when it is being activated, you are aware of it. That's the difference. You know, an enlightened being sometimes still thinks in their ego too. That's why they still get annoyed, they get angry, right? Otherwise, then you're gonna be dead from the neck up if you have no ego whatsoever. Then you'll be vegetables. Vegetables don't get angry, don't get annoyed, right? But I'm not a vegetable. I still get annoyed sometimes. And I want to lash out sometimes. You cannot expect perfections even from enlightened beings. The difference is they are just, generally speaking, very mature and very wise and very easy to be around, to be with, right? And they don't have this sort of chronic neurosis that stain their relationships, that make their relationships so rocky, so codependent, so abusive, so hard, because they are so unhappy with themselves. When you are unhappy with yourselves, ladies, of course you're gonna express it sooner or later, right? You're not happy with how you feel about yourself, and you're going to expect validations from your partner. Isn't it true? And then you become sulky, you lure with vinegar, every little thing annoys and offends you, and you lash out all the time. And you expect that your guy will love you more and give you what you want by being a sour grape. No, he won't. He can't. Put yourself in his position. Try to deal with cranky people who just keep blaming you for every shitty feeling they have. How do you think you would respond to people like that? You don't, right? You just cut them off. If you're not working for them, you know, you just like, or with them, you just stay away from them because they're toxic. And if you work for them, you'll find a better job, you know, with a boss who is not crazy like that, who's neurotic like that. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work with your partner. It doesn't work with your friends, your family, your parents, your children. It doesn't work with anyone. Okay? So this is what happened to a lot of you. Every little thing rattles you, makes you angry, makes you offended. And you are responsible for how you feel. Nobody can make you feel better about yourself. If you expect to be treated like a 5-year-old, meaning that, whenever you are sulking, you expect your man to be nice and sort of persuade you, flatter you, like a child when they're upset about something, right? Their children, their parents will come to their rescue. Yeah, but you're not a 5-year-old child, so act accordingly. So, and if you have problems with that, ladies, I can help you out of that predicament. How to get out of your head, because that is the source of all these inner conflicts. You believing in whatever your head tells you. So sign up for my journey inward, ladies. Okay, my journey inward will teach you this deepest, most profound inner knowledge that nobody else in the niche knows or teaches, obviously. Okay. Is that a good answer, Olivia? What time is it now in London? Wow. You just awake for this class. Thank you so much for that. So, let me go to the next question. Oh, there is a question here. No question, but Haley said, classes to keep a man's interest and keep cultivating feminine energy. Meditation for greatness. I will give you the link probably later, Haley. Let me see other questions if there is. This is from Mersa. Hi Mersa. How to be on IDGF Island always. You know IDGF? I don't give a fuck. That's IDGF. So in our group, in the community, there has been a phrase that has been used by the ladies called IDGF, which means I don't give an F. I don't give a fuck. That's what it means, right? So Marsa asked how to be in that state of IDGF. Same response I gave Olivia. Get out of your head. When you are detached from your thoughts, you're detached from the ego. If you want to get so attached to the ego, believe in your thoughts. Be so attached on your thoughts, on your assumptions. That is surely the greatest route to the maintenance of the ego. So in order for you to not give an F, you have to be detached from thoughts. And how to do it, Mirza? It's a very difficult subject to teach, and only people who've already transcended the mind and the thoughts can teach that. And I don't know anyone else in the niche has that kind of knowledge. I don't know. So sign up for Journey Inward. This current Journey Inward will blow your mind away, because the entire purpose of this cycle of Journey Inward is really to share my inner process, especially considering that we are in the apocalypse right now. What's happening in the world right now is an apocalypse. It's a period of revelation. And by the way, revelation is also 1-to-1, or Katarina Phang and revelation have the same Gematria number. Why do you think that is? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm trying as much as I can to reveal, to unveil the truth at my own expense as well. I'm being mocked, being ridiculed, being censored, being banned, right? I face a lot of difficulties for this thankless job, but that's who I am. I am the holy warrior. The holy warrior and who is Katarina Phang are of the same Gematria number, which is 191, I believe. Look it up. Who is Katarina Phang? I believe it's 191. Let me check. Okay, so oh, 195. So this is, I'll just read it. Who is Katarina Phang? 195. The Holy Warrior, 195. Gematria Proves God, 195. 195. Jesus' second coming, 195. Jesus is coming again, 195. Behold, a Son is reborn, 195. The law of gratitude, remember, I teach you gratitude, always, 195. The Spirit of America, 195. 777, 195. And remember, 7 is God's perfect number. And 777 is God's perfect number in maximum potency, or times 3. And 777 is the number of books of the Bible, instead of 66 that represents the beast. The beast number, Satan's number, is 666. You know that, right? So they reduce 777 books of the Holy Bible into 66 books. Imagine that. Imagine the corruption. Imagine how much is hidden from you. Why it's hidden? Because the truth is so powerful. That's why. That's why I'm censored too. Okay? Light rays of heaven, 195. Best is yet to come, 195. One nation under God, 195. Holy Grail, Bloodline, 195. Gematria Revelation, 195. She is my soulmate, 195. Jesus speaks through Gematria to me too, and through me. So he says, she is my soulmate. Who is Katarina Phang? She is my soulmate, 195. Messiah Revelation, 195. The Triune Feminine, 195. What is the Triune Feminine? The Trinity, 195. And they remove the feminine aspect of the Trinity altogether. So there is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is the sacred feminine. Holy Spirit is the feminine magnetism that I teach, ladies. Holy Spirit is Mary Magdalene. Holy Spirit is the divine bride of Jesus, the daughter of God, and also the Holy Mother. So basically, Triune Feminine. Feminine is just half of the whole thing. So Christianity is not Christianity without Mary Magdalene, because Mary Magdalene brings the feminine aspect to it. It's the yin and yang. And you know what is also yin and yang? Katarina Phang. 1-to-1 is also yin and yang. Look it up. As I said, put it on Gematrix.org. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, sometimes there's so many of them, but I believe yin and yang is also in 1-to-1, if not in one of the other permutations of my names and my works and my monikers. So the Triune Feminine. Feminine is not secondary. Feminine is right there with the Father and Mother. We need both. And son and daughter. We need both as well. Okay? So Jesus and Father is the masculine aspect. of godhood. Mary Magdalene and Mother, whatever you want to call it, you know, something that is so that is greater than yourself, the container of all these things. You can call it Father, you can call it Mother too, you can call it Kingdom of Heaven. Doesn't matter what you call it. Okay, you can call it the source. So there is the source, or the Father and Mother, and Son and Daughter. Son is Jesus, daughter is Mary Magdalene. So you understand now? And who is Katarina Phang is triune feminine. So the purpose of me is to bring this realization to you all of our place in history. Mary Magdalene is the first feminist, but she is also the one who is going to denounce feminism. That's the beauty of it. Mary Magdalene is multi-dimensional, just like myself. I'm not a conservative or a liberal, I'm kind of both, right? I'm about family values, but I'm also very sex positive. And now you understand why Mary Magdalene was called a whore, because the guys couldn't stand her. She wasn't like dull, probably, compared to the women of Jesus' disciples, who would probably wear just gray robes. She probably would wear something colorful like red, and she would have her beautiful hair flowing and long and beautiful and luster. Yeah. And that is very enchanting for men, obviously. And some men were threatened by that. So especially during that time, in a time in which patriarchy, again, I'm talking like a liptard, right? Which patriarchy, that shows that I cover both sides, was very dominant back then. That's why she was called the prostitute, the whore. But she's just a very wholesome woman who embraces every side of her. The sexual, also the same part. She's both sexual and also both very saint-like. She's a sage and a sinner at the same time. I consider myself a sage and a sinner at the same time. I don't see dichotomy in there. It's just you being human, being your whole you. And this is why the current journey inward, it's called the Odyssey, an epic journey toward wholeness. And we are about culminating on the journey with the program, with the revelation on Mary Magdalene. What is more prophetic than that, ladies? Mary Magdalene appeared at the right time for my program to teach you a lesson of wholeness. There is no better example of wholeness than Mary Magdalene. She is everything you can imagine. She's just like you and me, but she's also very divine. She is divine because she's so surrendered to who she is at the core, which is Christ consciousness or enlightenment. That's who she is at the core. How she looks like doesn't matter. She can wear a bikini like this. She can wear a flowing, sexy, sheer, red dress. She can have her hair up. She can have her hair down. It doesn't matter. So what if she's gorgeous and sexy and guys are very attracted to her? So what? She's just being who she is, right? But at that time, that was considered sinful. So that is just the history why her entire legacy was completely erased. There were only like 4 verses in the Bible that mention her name. And when this is all over, we gonna have that part of her legacy restored within Christianity and within the Bible. And I, a Buddhist, is telling you this. One truth, remember that. One truth. There is only one truth in the world. In the entire existence. You know, whatever prophets or saints or sages taught in their time is in accordance with the context of the time. So they use different language, different lingos, because their challenges were different. Do you understand? In Jesus' time, there was a time of great persecution. That's why the language of the Bible is always about surrendering to faith, be brave about fighting evil spirit. Because that is the zeitgeist of the moment. Only through this experience, I began to understand why the Bible was written the way it was. And I also began to understand why, for example, Islam was written the way it was. And why Buddha taught his thing the way he did. And why Hinduism teachings were the way they are. You see what I'm saying? All these sages speak of one truth. But that one truth has to be rephrased, has to be reframed in the lingos, in the language that is relevant to the zeitgeist of the moment. Anyway, let me continue. I'm still talking about number, which is 195, which is Who is Katarina Phang. So, she's my soulmate, 195. Messiah Revelation, 195. The Triune Feminine, 195. The Teaching of Jesus, 195. Revolutionary, 195. Trust in Jesus, 195. The Dream Warriors, 195. Profound Insight, 195. Judgment Day is near, 195. The Master Soul, 195. Divine Presence of Lord, 195. Freaked out yet? LOL, 195. That's the way Jesus speaks to me. Are you freaked out yet? I said, Lord, I've been so freaked out. This like blow my mind away. It scared the shit out of me. I really speak to him. I said, Lord, I don't know. This is crazy. You know what I mean? I said, I speak to him. Because he clearly speaks to me. Freaked out yet? Yes, I'm freaked out, Lord. I'm so freaked out, Lord. Okay, ladies, there's so much to talk about. Do you want to continue or you're done? Are you tired with my babbling? So, you want to learn about all this, ladies? So sign up for Journey Inward, the Odyssey, an epic journey toward wholeness. And do you know the Gematria number of the Odyssey, an epic journey toward wholeness? It's 502. And you know what else is 502? Katarina Phang, the Man Whisperer, and the Last Resort is also 502. Coincidence? Why are there so many coincidences? And you know 502 is what? 7. 5 plus 2. You know 5 plus 0 plus 2 is 7, right? And 7 is God's perfect number. Back to God's perfect number. So let me see if anybody say anything. Ladies, I try to find more question. Let me see if there is more question. Ladies, I try to find more question. Let me see if there is more question. Ladies, I try to find more question. Let me see. Michelle, is that you sending 200 stars to me? Ladies. Oh, okay. Hi Lexi, how are you? I try to find anyway, ladies, I don't think there is any more question. I tried to look at YouTube, but I don't know how. I don't think I can see your comments here. I have to go to YouTube perhaps. I don't know if I cannot see your comments from here. Let's see. Oh, Odyssey is on YouTube as well. Oh, Odyssey is on YouTube as well. Oh, Odyssey is on YouTube as well. Oh, all right. I think that's about it for tonight. I have such a great time, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. But look at the how beautiful it is. I want to show you. I guess I'll show you here. I want to show you the surrounding. You know, different cell phones have different coloring. I don't really like the coloring of this new cell phone. You know, I don't look good. The lighting is not that great, I guess. It makes me, I don't know, you could see all my wrinkles. But I know, it's vain. I'm vain. So, oh. Freckle is down there barking. I wish I could show it to you, ladies. All right. So I want to show the YouTube ladies now too. Hold on. YouTube ladies. So beautiful. All right. Thank you so much for being here, ladies. If you can, please share it. You know, share it on your your page, your wall, so people can learn a thing or two. You know, because my job is to wake people up, as I say, because our future, our life depends on it. If you're not waking up, you libtards and Democrats, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. The holdup is you. I even have posts that says that the Democrats are, that when I put, sorry, I say something, I'm gonna find that post. I say something and I put it on Gematria, and the result comes up, Democrats are why we are in this holdup. God speaks through me, saying, Kat, you have to tell your audience, Democrats are why we are in this hold-up period. So Democrats, yeah, I'm talking to you, because you're the problem. You're the cancer of the world. When I say you're the cancer, because I mean it, and I know it, okay? When are you going to wake the fuck up, idiots? You disgust me so much. And don't tell me that, oh, your feelings are offended. Oh my God. You are why we are in this predicament. Okay, I hope you can sleep at night knowing that. All right. Thank you so much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you again, I don't know, probably in a week or two or next month, whenever the mood strikes. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.